Hi there everyone, welcome to our 25 Tuesdays with Way series on Instagram Live. Over the next few weeks, so we've got 25 weeks in total, we're going to be talking to many people who are involved in this charity, are volunteers, work with the charity, members of the charity, and bringing you their stories here on Instagram. I'm running the first series, which is the Many Faces of Way. And this evening, I'm really excited. I'm going to be talking to one of Way's newest recruits. She works for the charity, and after volunteering for 10 years, being a member for 10 years and then volunteering with us, she joined the team as our new community fundraiser. So it's Elanor. She's going to be talking to me this evening and telling me a bit about her story and what she's doing in her new role and how she's going to be helping this fantastic charity. If you haven't seen this series before, then where have you been? It's every Tuesday, but you can see the videos on our Instagram account. Previously, I've talked to our founder, Caroline Saul. I've also talked to one of our ambassadors last week. And we've got loads more exciting interviews coming up as well. Right, I'm just going to add Elanor in. Hey Elanor, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Thanks for joining me this evening. It's lovely to have you here, and congratulations on your new job. We're very excited to have you as part of the team.
Yeah, I'm very excited to be part of the team.
Yeah, so I was just telling everybody, I know that you've been a member for 10 years-ish now. Kind of love to know a bit about your story, how you were widowed, and tell me a bit about your lovely partner, Robin, as well.
Okay, yeah. So I was my last day of work before going on maternity leave, and got home late to nobody there. I think a few people will probably understand what that's like. And a policeman knocked at the door to tell me that Robin had unfortunately been in a motorbike accident, and he had died in that. And he rushed me up to St Thomas's in London. And yeah, it was crazy. I was very near full-term pregnant at the time. And yeah, it's really hard to describe that because it was like a weird blur of this can't be real, it can't be happening.
Yeah.
I couldn't get hold of his mum, but my parents came and met me up there. And I sat with him. I got to sit with him for quite a while. I spoke to a police officer. There was a really lovely nurse who, I think she was also a biker, who was sat with me too. But yeah, it was tough times.
I can only imagine. And as you said, you were so heavily pregnant. This was supposed to be such an exciting time. You just finished work in anticipation of having your little girl, and to then find you've got to do it by yourself, I guess, and have just lost, your partner. It's just heartbreaking, so tragic. Yeah, I can only imagine how difficult it must have been. I mean, how did you cope in those early days? I know that as you weren't married, that had an impact as well.
Yeah, I don't know actually. I think you just go from one minute to the next, one thing you have to do to the next thing you have to do, and you just kind of slowly you're just living. You're doing one thing, doing the next thing, and not really thinking too much in between. Yeah, it was a shock to me when I went to register Sophie, my daughter, at the registrar's office, because I had no idea I wouldn't be able to put her dad's name on the birth certificate. But I did have a lovely registrar, and she explained it all to me, explained that there was a test case. But at the time, I wasn't in a sort of place to take on a lawsuit or to go to court. It just wasn't. This was in 2005, and there just wasn't the sort of history of it that there is now. I think a little bit easier, and it's never going to be easy, but there's a sort of process, whereas there just wasn't a process then. So yeah, I just my parents were great. I had lots of visitors at first when Sophie was little, coming to see her, it was bizarre because I just got a whole load of condolence cards, and then I had to make way for a whole load of new baby cards. I've kept them all.
It's just so surreal. I mean, I can't imagine how you must have felt when you went to the registry office and they wouldn't let you put your partner's name on your daughter's birth certificate. I mean, that is just, it seems incredulous really to think that that can happen, you
Yeah,
know.
21st century. I was actually, my jaw kind of hit the floor a bit. I just didn't know what to say. I just, what, so, you know, because we're not married, I'm not trustworthy to give his name. And it wasn't even as simple as his family agreeing to it. I would have had to have DNA tests, gone to court, well, would have had to put my child through that. And his family had agreed to have DNA tests if that's what we wanted to do, because you know, they were as shocked as I was that it wasn't allowed. But yeah, we thought we had time. We thought we had time to get married down the line, and it wasn't something he hugely believed in. But yeah, crazy. It was just crazy.
Of course, you know, of course you thought you had time. No one really thinks they're gonna lose their partner when they're young, because it doesn't, you know, most people haven't experienced it happening to anyone they know.
No,
And then it happens to them.
yeah.
And I know also, obviously, as you, sorry.
Oh, sorry, I was just saying we were 33. You know, you think you're invisible. Yeah.
Absolutely, and I understand that as well. You know, I met my husband, and we didn't think that he was going to die before, you know, and we were able to get married, but we were only married for 10 weeks because we had to bring it forward and do it in a rush, you know, because we had the foresight, we knew this was going to happen, but you know, most people don't have that opportunity, or a lot of people don't have the opportunity, especially in our position when we are so young. Because yeah, I mean, I see lots of people now that are young, similar age, and they're not in a rush. Of course they're not.
No.
No. And I know also, obviously, because you weren't married, you then weren't entitled to get the benefits that are afforded to couples that are married, even though you had a dependent child to support. It's just, it is shocking. And I know things are on the, you know, going to change. There have been some cases, and we're going to be talking more about that later in the series to some of our campaigners. But you know, the fact that you've had to go through that, I'm so sorry. It's so difficult. You know,
I was lucky in that we'd had insurance for the mortgage, so I definitely advise everyone to do that. The mortgage got paid off, so I knew I was safe with a home for me and my daughter, but you don't know what else is around the corner. And I ended up moving away from London as well, because I just felt that was the right thing to do for us. And that meant that I was leaving my job that was fairly secure and going self-employed as a freelance cartographer, and that was quite scary. And I did rely heavily on tax credits, which I suppose was, I got those because I hadn't got anything else.
Yeah, exactly. It's so difficult. You know, I can only imagine. I found it really difficult in my situation, but I think for all of those members that have children, especially the young children, where you need to give them even more of your own personal time, you know, to then have to be trying to work or keep a roof over heads and feed everyone as well. It's so difficult.
Yeah,
I know that you did find way, not at first. It took a while, didn't it? But tell us a bit about how you found the charity and kind of the difference that it made to you.
So my partner Robin, his mum, actually saw an advert for a program on television, and I can't remember what year it was. It sometime between 2005 and 2012. I can't be more specific. But it was about one of the way local way groups up north, and it was more a story about that particular group and the people within it. And so I kind of knew that it was out there, but I didn't really understand exactly what Way did. And I was quite reluctant to join up if there was nobody nearby, because I'm in Bournemouth on the south coast. So I couldn't find out if there was anyone in my local area without joining. So it took me a little while, but eventually in 2012, I just had the 7th anniversary, and I thought, no, I've got to do this because I need just to speak to people in a similar situation. I'd had a little bit of cruise counselling by then, but I felt like I wasted it, really, didn't talk about the things. It would have taken longer than sort of 6 to 8 sessions to talk through everything, I think. But so yeah, I was so glad when I joined up, because back then the area contact gave you a call. There wasn't so much online as there is now, and had a lovely chat. I really put my mind at rest. And then another lovely lady from the group met up with me at the garden centre and chatted. Just lovely just to meet 1 or 2 other people rather than a big group to start with. And then I went from there, and I just loved being part of everything from then on, and met some really good friends that will be friends for life, I hope.
Yeah.
And it was partly that friendship that took me onwards to becoming a volunteer, because Dorset had lost our area contact, and my friend Jodie and I just said to her at the Southampton AGM, should we just do it? Should we just do it together? And it was born out of that kind of the help we both had, and just a desire to give something back, and just keep it going. Just keep it and have people meeting up for us as well as everybody else. So
That's amazing, and thank you so much for volunteering for the charity as well. We couldn't, we do rely on many volunteers, so many people that help.
yeah,
It is fantastic. And I suppose for anyone who's listening who thinks, oh, then I wonder if there's anyone that's near me, we have 4,500 members now of this charity. We're all over the UK. Of course, feel free to check just in case if you live in a remote area, but we do lots of virtual stuff as well, don't we? So it's really easy to connect people.
This was it. I hadn't appreciated that a lot of it's online, and so there's always somebody there, and they might live at the other end of the country, or even I met one lovely lady in New Zealand who I got to meet when I was over there a few years back. But I hadn't really appreciated that. I thought I was just relying on people being local, but actually you end up making friends all over the country.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think still that simple mechanic is still there. The area contact will reach out to you, albeit online now, send you a message and offer, to meet for a coffee. And I love that even after all this time, 25 years, that's still the way it works, because it's just that simple kind of reach out, isn't it, to you when you're, not sure what to do and how this all works. It is, it's just one widow reaching out to another, really.
It is, and it's that basic kind of friendship that makes the group work.
Yeah,
Not
definitely.
in a simple way, but basic in a just going down to the grassroots of what friendship is, really.
Yeah, absolutely. So before we get on to talking about your exciting new role with the charity, which is our community fundraiser, I want to talk a bit about your own fundraising that you've done before you joined us. And I know you got involved in swimming the channel for Way. So tell us a bit about that.
I did. Yes, it was a bit of a crazy decision, really, because when I started training for that, I could barely do the front crawl. I certainly couldn't do a whole length of it. I was a real sort of heads up granny breaststroker, and I'd been swimming in the sea for a little while with a local group, which is always the safest way to do open water swimming, by the way. And they were great fun, and I got to know them quite well. And eventually, my good friend from the group had said to me, "Would you like to be in a team a relay team, and I'd been involved with helping other teams or watching other teams do their relays, so I knew what happened. So we had 6 of us, 6 ladies. We were all mothers, well, apart from our glorious leader. And we, some were single mothers too, some were married, but that everyone had their own thing going on, and we were just really a hodgepodge of ladies who joined together doing something we loved. So we did a lot of training. We did some big swims in the training. Bude Sea Pool, which is a channel length.
Oh, it's lovely there.
It is lovely, but in October it's quite cold.
Oh yeah, I've only done it in the summer.
Oh no, that would be far too easy. And I've done Guildford 24-hour challenge, and I did the round Brownsea Island swim, which was my longest swim. It took me 2.5 hours in 16-degree water, with 1 jellyfish scare and 1 seaweed that frightened me.
Oh gosh.
But yeah, I'm really I really have a phobia of jellyfish that I've developed during my swim training, so that didn't help. We did some swims off boats too in deep water, which was really a different thing altogether, so really good to practice. But sadly, in the end, when it came to our slot with our boat in the channel, the weather turned at the last minute and we didn't have time to do our swim. But because we'd done all that training and all those other swims, and we went on that year to do the Bude Channel swim again as a team, we felt justified in the money that we'd raised, the fundraising that we'd done. And
Did you do the distance basically?
We'd done the distance many times. We just didn't get to actually do it in the channel. And some of those friends have gone on to do it in other teams since, but I never really, I never could dedicate the time to the training again. It takes up a lot of time and energy.
Maybe one for the future though. It'll keep for now.
Maybe a lake where there's no jelly.
Well, I know you raised a lot of money for Way, so obviously we are, reliant on, funds, many of which comes from members and the community. So you know how important that is.
Yeah, of course.
So moving on to your new role with Way, why did you want to come and work for the charity? And tell us a bit about your job. What are you responsible for, involved with, etc.
Right. Well, the title is Community Fundraiser. I got extremely excited when it was announced at the AGM last September that Way was going to be having these new roles, and I straight away emailed Colette to ask about it. Can I have this job? When it's going to be advertised? But I had to hold my horses a bit because it wasn't until this year, January, I think, that it went out. I'd been working for another charity, and I got into a bit of fundraising with them, because I was doing sort of supporter services mostly, but then started doing some fundraising, and I really enjoyed the talking to the supporters and hearing about all the challenges that they were setting themselves. And there's just so many amazing people out there, that I just loved that side of it. And so when this job came up, and it was with Way, who I've been involved with for so long, and really, you can't really fundraise for something you don't believe in, I don't think. And so you really need to believe in the people that you're fundraising for. So
You already had the passion for the charity.
Yeah, I already did, and it was a bit of a no-brainer, really. Just, yeah, I'm just so happy that I was given the opportunity to do the job.
No, it's fantastic, and I suppose for anyone that's kind of listening in, the funds are so needed. As I said before, we've got 4,500 members. We
need more.
We need more, because we know that there are more people out there who are eligible to be members who haven't heard of us, and until everybody has heard of us who needs us, we won't rest, really, will we? No. Because we know we've still got work to do.
We know it's great that we're reaching the people we are, but there's so many more people out there that they may not want to join a group. but we need at least to give them that option.
Yeah, absolutely. Because we all know how important it's been for us and how valuable. So yeah, I mean, that's why I ended up on Instagram, right? So in front of the camera instead of behind it, because I just wanted to help people and get the word out there during the pandemic. So well, thank you so much for coming on board. We're so thrilled to have you with all your experience and passion for the charity. It's fantastic. So have you got any kind of ambition or hopes for the role, you know, things that you're excited about doing in the next few months?
Yeah, well, one of the exciting things is that this role hasn't existed before, and it's brand new, so I can shape it in a way that suits the charity and the way I work, and sort of make it my own, if you like. And we already have some regular events, but I'd like to do more of those. And I also like to give people who aren't so sporty a chance to do things too, because whilst you can now, we haven't had the staff to sort of go into it in any depth and encourage people to do different things. So yeah, I'm hoping to encourage more people. We've got lots of sporty people, and we're always happy for sporty people. You know, sporty challenges are great because it can get you out your comfort zone, and exercise is a really good thing when you're bereaved.
Yeah, it's really good for mental health, isn't it?
Very good for mental health. So that is great, but not everyone is able to do that. And so, you know, I want to hear about everything. I want to hear crazy ideas, hair colouring, but bake sales is quite an obvious one, but no less important for that. And I mean, we all like cake, don't we?
Certainly do. So what should people do, Elanor, if they've got ideas? Do you want them to contact you and let you know about crazy ideas they've got?
Yes, please. You can email me at fundraising@widowedandyoung.org.uk, and I will love to hear all your stories and ideas. Some people are happy to do their own thing. Other people might want to form a team to do something. We have a few things. So we've got 3 London Marathon, virtual marathon places available. I think there will be a minimum fundraising ask for that, but you can do it from your front door, so you don't have to go anywhere. You can plan your own routes locally, and you can do it throughout the day, so you don't have to do it all in one go. So that could be a really good challenge if we got till October to train. So there's that one. We have the dragon boats coming up in July. Again, I'm so glad that COVID's over, so we can do that again, because that was so much fun.
Yeah, it's a really big event for the charity, isn't it? I suppose I've even done it, and I'm not sporty. I think I did it maybe 2018, I think it was. Yeah, we were slow, but we raised a lot of money.
Yeah, I think the Wayworks team really made it theirs, and then, you know, Team Collect came in and beat you.
Well, we're always up for some healthy competition. Definitely. If anyone's listening and wants to take part, you probably know Ed and Colette, 2 of our members, and obviously Colette works for the charity as well, and Ed's a volunteer. Set up 2 teams, bit of healthy competition to race each other down the Thames, dragon boating with almost 0 experience amongst all of the teams.
I went there, I'd never done it before. I didn't even, apart from at the gym, I hadn't really rowed. And it's not like rowing though, it's paddling.
It's not like anything, is it?
They teach you how to paddle, and they play a lot of the Hawaii Five-0 theme.
They do.
And you just go for it, and you have an experienced person there guiding the boat. But
you do, and you get all the safety checks, and you have like life jackets and stuff, and proper equipment and proper boats. It's not Heath Robinson. And yeah, I remember actually when we did it, we were very chuffed because we beat a team of doctors, because obviously they don't have probably any time to train either. So yeah, it was very fun, and there's lots of people, lots of boats for lots of charities. It's a really fun event, isn't it?
I think a lot of it's willpower. I'm gonna do this. That's great fun.
So
I
you're
think
part of the winning team then, are you, Eleanor?
I was Team Colette in 2019. Yes.
Oh, nice. So will you be taking part yourself this year, or are you helping Colette recruit a team?
I will be there. I don't know. I will be helping recruit a team. I am quite happy to give my seat up for other people to have a go, because I think that's important. We want people to have a go. But if they do need an extra person, I'm there.
You're on standby.
My two
Brilliant.
is ready.
Amazing. And I know that we're also really glad to have you on board because, we've got so many people in our charity that have been raising money, and we haven't had enough staff to people to sort of go out and cheerlead for them. So having you on board to be able to, cheerlead or recruit cheerleading squads and get people out supporting people at these events. Because I know I've driven down the motorway to get to a checkpoint on 100k to meet people at like 8 o'clock at night who were halfway there, walking through the night and stuff. And just having that the support from the charity is important as well, isn't it?
It is, and I do hope to be able to provide a lot more of that now. I mean, we've got some teams all set up now. We've got some people doing Ride London at the end of May. At the end of May is very busy, actually. We've also got a team in Scotland doing the Kilt Walk. If anyone else in Scotland wants to join them, I think there's still time. And there are a team doing the London to Brighton Walk, which is another 100-kilometre one, I believe.
Yeah, it's a long way. It's a really long way.
But I think that would be great fun to do it with the team because they've got that camaraderie as well.
Brilliant. And so I'm assuming we're going to have lots of new merch for the supporters and for the competitors. Is that right?
Yes, we have some at the moment. Some t-shirts, so we've basic blue t-shirts with the new logo. But we are going to be ordering some different kinds of things. If anyone's got a particular, like, we must have this kind of t-shirt, then do get in touch. But we're going to maybe do some kind of running type vests, maybe something fluorescent. I don't know. We have to look into it yet. We haven't decided. So we're still planning what to get, but there will be a whole load of new stuff available.
I know some of our members out there like to collect one of everything, so I'm sure they'll be quite excited to hear they can bag some more swag whilst raising money. I remember we actually watching the London Marathon a few years ago, and in fact I'm really kind of passionate about it because it was my very, very first away event, was going to support a member running the London Marathon, which seems a bit of an odd thing to go to for your first time, but I was frightened by the idea of going to a pub and sitting down and having to finish a drink, being there with these people that I didn't know. So I thought, if I go to the London Marathon, I can just turn up and, do a bit of shouting and cheering. And I loved the marathon anyway. I've watched it quite a few times. I've had friends that have taken part. I thought I can just disappear. If this is not right for me, I can just disappear into the crowd and that'll be that. And I met up with the group. Then we had a checkpoint. We were supporting the runner, Graydon. And it was brilliant. And I stayed till like 10 o'clock at night, not just watching the marathon. We went out for dinner and we had a few drinks, and it was a real kind of poignant moment for me because I met, people talk about finding your tribe and meeting your people and having that shared experience with other people that have gone through this. And for me, that wasn't the London Marathon. So, whilst they're amazing, these kind of cheering squads are amazing to kind of support our fundraisers. They're also amazing to raise awareness so people can see us and see the charity, but they're great for meetups as well. I think people will potentially come along and find out about the charity.
Top running tip is to have your name on your top so that people shout out, "Come on!" and they think you forget. I think, well, not that I've run a marathon, but I have done a 10k. But I know from people who've done it, they say it makes such a difference to have people shout out your name when you're running around.
So if anyone's listening and you've got any kind of ambition to do a really long run, or if you're not sporting, you've got an idea for something that's not sport related, like a craftathon, or I don't know, sitting in a bath of beans.
Oh, yeah, I know about that.
Yeah, I'm not sure I would like that, but I'm going to get my thinking hat on and maybe get a new challenge for myself.
The more environmentally friendly one now is the ice bath, isn't it?
Of course, yeah. So you don't have to waste food. That is better. Oh, goodness me, that sounds even worse.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, I'd definitely sponsor somebody for that. But yeah, thank you for sharing those plans with us. It sounds really exciting, and I'm excited to see what's going to happen and see all these ways that we can get involved and
Yeah.
support all of our amazing members that are and you know, friends of members. We've had you know, people who have raised money because this charity has helped their friends and family as well.
There's
So
another cycle ride in April actually with a group of people who are doing it for a friend. They're
yeah,
not, they just wanted to fundraise for Way.
that's amazing. Thank you so much to all our fundraisers. You are so vital to this charity. You do so much, and you know, it means that we can grow, we can recruit staff. Like we've been able to get Elanor, who can then, you know, grow the fundraising even more, which is fantastic. I think before we go, Elanor, I'd love to kind of just go back to kind of thinking about your experience as a widow and as a member of the charity, you know, and what kind of messages or words of advice would you have for some, I suppose, another young widow that finds himself in our situation and potentially has got a really young child, isn't married, so, you know, even more difficult.
Yeah, I just think the main thing is to reach out. It's not something I'm good at, asking for help or just reaching out for a friendship. But I would say always do. If you have to push yourself a little bit to do it, it's worth it in the long run because the results will they'll just make your life so much better. To have the friendship of other people who understand what you're going through, and to, I mean, Way has a helpline, not just for grief, but for practical issues as well, you know, law issues and you know anything really. And we want to help. So reaching out, asking for help, and reaching out and going to events, and don't be scared to do that because everyone's lovely. And you know, if there's somebody that not, the others will tell them off. But there is, I've never had any bad experience. So just do it. If you're worried, if you're wondering about it, just do it. And you know, and if you're not a widow and you're watching, if you're not widowed and you're watching this, and you know somebody who is, let them know because we are not a group of people who sit around wearing black commiserating. We are people who get out there and live life again, and we do learn. We learn to do that together.
Yeah, absolutely. I can see someone's just asking, you know, what's the helpline number? So that's a benefit that we give to all our members. So if you're a member of this charity and you're a paid up member, I think it's £25 a year, then you're given the charity helpline number, can call up and get practical advice, counselling, legal support, financial support, etc. You know, advice on what to do in any of those situations. And I know that's so crucial for so many of our members. You know, they are left in extreme difficulty. But like you're saying, you know, reaching out, making that first step, joining the charity, seeing, you know, reaching out to somebody online or just reading what everyone else is saying,
Yeah.
and having that opportunity.
Lurk for a while before they want to actually, that's fine, you know, lurk, see what how the land lies, until you feel that you're able to write something. But everyone is supportive, and yeah, please don't stay in the shadows like I did for a bit.
Oh, bless you. Thank you so much for coming and talking to me this evening. We're so thrilled to have you on board. We've also recruited 2 other members of staff. So if you want to find out about them, you can go to our website and you can see, you know, read about their new jobs. I'm not going to ruin the surprise yet because we might be talking to them later in the series. But it's fantastic that, you know, we've been able to get more money into the charity, recruit more people to support us and help make this charity you know, even better and reach everybody that needs it, which is just fantastic. And thank you so much for being a part of that, Elanor. As I said, we're thrilled to have you on board. It's always great when we have members that come and work for the charity as well, I think, because you've got that lived experience that's so you know, so valuable to have. So thank you. So next week I'm going to be talking to another one of our volunteers. So I spoke to a volunteer last week. and he helps make Way the incredible charity that it is as well. We've talked about how important our volunteers are. I'm not going to reveal his name because I don't have it written down in front of me. I don't want to get it wrong. I'm always very honest. I'm not going to wing it. Yeah, I'm going to be talking to him next week. Like I said, if you've joined this late and you want to watch the rest of the interview with Elanor, you can find it on our video, our Instagram videos. Just look on our profile and you can see them on there. I'll be uploading it after this. So thank you very much, Elanor, and I look forward to seeing you again soon.
Thank you, me too.
All right, take care. Bye.
Bye.